And welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, but also Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. You give you Dynamite, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's NXT and all the fallout from NXT Vengeance Day.
Power's back. Not sure it went away, but it's back.
Yeah.
In-ring was mid, so perfect. Couple of promos for the and like angles for the stories and characters I'm interested in. Earnestly great. Backstage and yet absolutely goated. NX motherfucking T.
Boxing glove on his stick. Check.
Oh my God.
You know what? There was some good stuff on this show.
Yes.
Yeah. Ironically and otherwise. I had an all right time with it, knowing that it is abysmal for reasons I will delve into. But there was one earnestly good bit, one stupid bit, well, several stupid bits, but one like stupid bit where you'd expect more. But we'll get into it.
So opening the show is Carmelo Hayes, who's living a shot-for-shot remake of Shawn Michaels' life, I think, basically, at this point.
Arrogant bastard. You didn't even draw.
Is it a bit?
You missed. The only time you missed in your career is the time the Fed drew. And you are arrogant enough to have Carmelo Hayes as your mirror.
Is it a bit at this point?
I think
the
so.
level of sort of like affectionate parody or homage or whatever, depending on what he's referencing on any given week. Is he aware of
He obviously knows
of the running bit and just thinks, oh well, if that's what they want, I'll give him it. Like, and
He's got quite the back catalogue to choose
this
from.
is it.
hasn't
Yeah,
he?
he can go back through and he can mine all sorts. He did 2 or 3 on this one show with this Carmelo Hayes character. So
Mello comes out, obviously he's the most hated man in NXT after what he did to Trick Williams. He's got the chair with him, gets in the ring, opens it, sits down, relentless booing from the NXT crowd. Goes to speak, booing intensifies, and he just goes, not yet, and leaves. We got to wait for that till later on.
nice. I thought.
Not bad.
We get a montage from Vengeance Day, including the attack on Trick Williams, all the results there. And then here come the Wolf Dogs, the Dusty Cup winners, Baron Corbin, Bron Breakker. Corbin starts to do their intro, and Bron says, shut up. Gets Alicia to do it, and she introduces, the winners of the 2024 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the Wolf Dogs. Huge baby. Corbin's not happy with the name and says, how much did you pay her to say something like that? Corbin says, but yes, we are the Dusty Cup winners. We dominated. Our names are on the trophy. My name's first. No one could stop us, but maybe the top rope could stop Bron's face. What? He nearly died. Bron says, well, when you go over like 23 miles an hour or whatever it was, stuff can go wrong. Corbin, you've never done that, but hey, congratulations on your first dive. But without me, you wouldn't have even made it over the ropes. But yeah, they say, look, we've got a tag team title shot as a result of winning the Dusty Cup. Family, get your asses out here. Bron says the Wolf Dogs are on the hunt. And then suddenly out comes Axiom. And Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Because they've got the match with Inoki and Blade in a second. Bit confusing this, but what do you make of their promo?
They are only the tension that exists between them. They are only ever a stutter, a stammer, or a bad line away from being jacked jock versions of Charlie Nicholas trying to back Jeff Stelling's partner on Saturday. It's always that close to them just getting it wrong, and then the other one going, I win the partner battle.
Yeah. And
then they get it right, and it's great. So the energy of that is absolutely fantastic, even if these lines are useless. Like, there's Bron's like, well, I am kind of handsome, actually.
Yes.
Is he going to go wrong here? And he doesn't. They're brilliant. We've got a close personal friend on this roster that often joins us for the podcasts. I'm worried for the health of his title reign, because it's the word, isn't it? They've kind of become undeniable at this point. You got to strap them up, I think.
I was feeling so confident because I was like, well, Bron's off to the main roster, so as long as they don't do it anytime soon, it's a done deal. Do you mean it's next week?
It's happening.
I hope it is happening, because the Wolf Dogs are absolutely incredible.
They are awesome.
Wrestling since 2019, January 1st, 2019, just has gone crazy in terms of the news cycle. It's sent everyone insane, quite frankly, with the tribalism. Like CM Punk is... Remember in 2016, 17, you get the merest hint of a rumor and you just run with it for content.
Yes.
Or if your own fandom and fantasy book, and there was never anything in it. And you think, CM Punk's not coming back. He's come back like 5 friggin' times. I'm trying not to be facetious here when I say that, you know, when they say, don't know about you guys, but I didn't have that on my bingo card. I legitimately never in 1 million years, in the never say never business of professional wrestling, did I ever think you're going to pretty heavily fall in love with Baron Corbin. That's one too far.
Bron goes bingo.
Shut up.
Nice.
It was another great night for them. They have this absolutely incredible chemistry. It's just, I just love it when something clicks and it's magic and you can just enjoy it. And especially within that sterile WWE presentation, you get something that just works, that you couldn't have necessarily planned. Obviously, you know, it's on a shoot, but you wouldn't have planned for just how good this was. It's Baron Corbin's goated.
It's
He is.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember it was a great example of what you always used to use. Absolutely out of nowhere, Tony Khan levels of pairing with the Acclaimed. It's like, how the frig have you done that and made complete magic?
He was so good at doing
that with these two. It's like, not that they were particularly like disparate figures or anything, but like Braun had nothing to do anymore on NXT.
Yeah, he'd done a really good heel run, but it was...
You still couldn't really work out what Baron Corbin was here for.
That's because he was like talking to himself.
Yeah.
Really regrettable imagery surrounding his vignettes, and then he was in the mirror and all the rest of it. It was just total spooky adjacent nonsense.
He's like, whoa, something about ships, wasn't it? And it was like, what?
Yeah. Burn the ships and all that. And this.
This
It
was
was unbelievable.
They were on commentary for what came next. It was, Axiom. Tagging with Nathan Fraser
When I'm cleaning windows,
against our boys, Inoue and Blade. Fun high-flying stuff, this. I really enjoyed it. At one point, Fraser came in, took out Idris, collided with Blade, and they both dive onto the opposing sides. People are all outside the ring. That took us to a break. When we came back after that, Malik Blade comes in hot, runs over Axiom. Fraser went for a big crossbody, but Malik rolled through and hit a fall-away slam. He ran over Axiom, powerbomb, cover, got a 2 count, hit another powerbomb, a sitting powerbomb this time. Tags in Idris Inoue, who goes up top, and it's a huge elbow drop. That got 2, but Nathan Fraser broke it up. Then the other high-flying lads came and did some amazing offense. There was a Spanish fly from Axiom, a Phoenix splash from Nathan Fraser, and a cover, but Blade breaks it up this time. That takes us to another break. When we come back, Nathan, he's so bloody fast, runs up the corner, hits a superplex. Fraser gets Blade into a brainbuster. Axiom super kicks him at the same time. There's another fantastic 2 count there. Axiom came in. Fraser went up top, went for a frog splash. Blade got the knees up. Axiom jumps down onto his feet. Malik brings in Inoue, and they hit a double Michinoku driver, but Fraser just breaks it up at the last second. And the finish sees Blade and Inoue go up top for this double team move off there. But Nathan shoves Malik to the floor. There's a Phoenix splash, a golden ratio, 1, 2, 3. Axiom and Nathan Fraser get the win and get their asses handed to them by Corbin and Breaker immediately afterwards.
Yeah, I don't want to piss any chips, Wilborn, but I was pretty bored during this. When it wasn't generic high-flying action, the likes of which has been perfected long ago. My God. What was in the middle of that ring? His unsigned AEW contract. Because the amount of times he was desperately going for those saves. She's like, is this looping? Is there something wrong with my video feed here? Because, you know, sometimes like the television or whatever can just glitch back. I honestly thought I'm not joking. I thought there was like a problem with it because it just felt like save. It wasn't breathless. It was just like, Jesus Christ, get some ideas for how to do this. I didn't think it was very good. I mean, there's levels of not very good nowadays. Not very good can be soulless very good for me nowadays. This was probably soulless, repetitive, like obviously impressive athletic action that I felt little for, but I just thought it was such a repetitive structure and place.
We've seen training.
Went long as well, Liz.
Yeah, it was long, and that was part of my problem with this. We've seen footage of training matches before, either on Tough Enough way back when, or in the Performance Centre, and where they're like literal lumps of grey trash because they're wearing just the grey t-shirts or the workout gear or whatever. And that's done, surely it must be done fundamentally to show how your execution of the moves are, and if you're the babyface, how's your comeback, how's your shine, and if you're the heel, how are you on heat? And that's about it. You know, they're not, obviously the wrestlers will react as they're told to and whatever. Like, this was very, very much that, but they were all in their gear. They were all playing their characters. Because, like, structurally, what was this? This was, like, extremely 50-50, even though in every other respect, you're led to believe this should be a fairly comfortable win for Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They're coming at the Wolf Dogs, who are number one contenders, and, like, love the family, but it's looking very much like this match here is going to be the Stand and Deliver one, or the next big tag title program on NXT that doesn't.
I've got an alternative for Stand and Deliver, but we'll get to that later on.
It's going to be like a big title defense. They've, like, the chemistry between these two teams, like the fast, quick aerialists versus these assholes, is obvious, right? And then you get this, like, incredibly 50-50, like, oh, the really, really fast and really, really technical and really, really aerial wrestlers are being matched. Like, I like Inofi and Blade, but they're basically being matched move for move because that's what wrestling matches are supposed to look like. It wasn't even effective at telling the story. Like, it didn't reveal the tier between the two sides as the match wore on. It was just like, oh, this could go either way, and I guess they've got the win.
It's because they've been taking Reese's Pieces of advice. That's why. Brindley Reese.
Good point. I'm completely wrong.
Right. I've either been meaning to make this broader point for a while, or I've already made it and I've forgotten. But I think it bears repeating because it captures a lot of what I think about this match and so many others on NXT television, right? You know when you learn something about an artist or a creator and it kind of puts you off their work or whatever. And you know when you learn something about a process behind how something's made and it kind of like puts you off. Like that, you know the Jamie Oliver turkey Twizzlers?
Yeah.
When
I'm getting hungry, but
yeah. And it's that famous clip.
Aye.
Or like chicken nuggets or whatever.
Aye, the pink stuff. Looks like strawberry milkshake and it's going in like, and that's a nugget.
Yeah. I'll have 20. If you haven't seen it, it's Jamie Oliver showing kids how processed chicken nuggets or something like that are made, and it does look like strawberry milkshake from all the guts and sludge. Then it somehow comes out the other end and makes chicken nuggets, and then in his big sort of sweeping gesture, he goes, "Who is going to want to eat them now?" And all the kids are like, I mean, yeah, of course they are.
Chicken nuggets are go to Jamie. You large-mouthed idiot. He was trying to do right by people and yourself.
Yes. And
definitely having nuggets for tea.
And himself. And this applies to NXT. This sort of thing's already easily inferred. It never comes across in-ring like this huge passion project. Even with something like the cosplay overtones that can undermine AEW, at least they love it, and there's a passion and there's a craft behind the work that goes on in between the ropes. Remember, I think it was Kevin Nash who went down to visit the Performance Center, and he was, I don't know if he was a guest coach or he was just Sean's mate, and he was there for whatever reason. He said something to the effect of, I went down there and they were just working so fast and so hard, and he just kept saying, slow it down. This is Kevin Nash. Slow it down. You could have meant that little moment means so much more had you sold it or whatever. That sounds incredibly boring, but there is a version of truth to that kind of advice. Slow it down, let things register, let things breathe, blah, 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 blah. And he said this to Sean. He's like, that would be my ultimate advice for your Performance Center outfit you have here, is that it all needs to slow down. And obviously someone from the 90s is going to say that, even though someone from the 70s would say that about someone from the 90s and so on. But Sean, apparently, according to Nash, and I thought I've made this up, but I'm fairly certain I've remembered it correctly. Sean was just like, it's the style that's in now, Kev, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so evident in these matches where it's like, it doesn't feel like this wonderful passion project where this is the way we do things and it's the right way and I'm so happy to lead you on. It's just like, oh, kids like fast matches, so here's NXT for you. And it just, I just find it so unbelievably soulless.
I was thinking about this with a match that it does the rounds fairly often on Twitter. You will have probably seen it if you listen or watch our podcast, but if you've only seen it through the tweet and not through as it happened at the time, it might not feel the same. Speed Muscle versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh my God.
It was this bit of alliteration. It was like instantly iconic, right? It was this TV match on a random episode of Impact as they were promoting a ex-World Cup, I think it was. And I'd certainly never seen Speed Muscle before, and a lot of people hadn't. So it served as exposure to them. And it was 8 minutes, 9 minutes maybe. And obviously every single second was filled with something that kicked ass, right? But why specifically that was so good was because you just simply had never seen speed like that. You'd never seen double teams done at that pace. Nobody saw the goddamn thing, right? I'm not presenting it as this perfect piece of like Bret Hart adjacent work, but it was just simply like nothing you had ever seen before. When you see that match on Twitter now, I would bet that the people that really feel something as they're watching it are those that remember how they felt when they first watched it, rather than if a fan that has grown up on today's product. They're looking at it and go, well, that's good, fast, high-flying stuff. There's good high-flying fast stuff in a Nathan Frazier match. That's his whole bit. When he's not telling hard-hitting home trees, or someone's behind me, like he's having matches like Speed Muscle. But at this point, everything gets normalized and everything gets homogenized, that the feeling of that Speed Muscle match only exists in your memory than in what you're watching right now. And that match sticks out as something that, well, that can't possibly be normalized. And it has happened.
Yeah.
It's like, and there'll be other examples that people have as they're listening to this, where there's a genre of a match that simply can't be normalized. It all has. And this is something me and Sid grapple with all the time about what we want out of these wrestling shows. NXT is not confronting the problem. Not really. Like, it confronts it with the skits and the vignettes and the bits and how daft this show is and how it
It's getting a bit earnest, this, but we'll finish up.
Yeah. It exists in its own universe, and that's why I get a kick out of this show. But as a wrestling show, it's not addressing that in the slightest. Dynamite does a better job of addressing that because it looks for like stylistic opportunities every now and then versus the norm. And NXT is a developmental. It should be doing that.
Yeah.
It should be like, oh, we love Obafemi for that exact reason. And a developmental gym, a farm, whatever, should have loads of wrestlers like that. Oh, we've just got so-and-so in from NIL and he's a football guy. So all he'll do is hoist spears. And sure enough, that's the thing that's got Braun Breaker more over than trying to make him 2003 Bill Goldberg. So, sorry, it's NXT.
No, I'm sorry.
Guilty. Sorry.
I think I can hear something on the roof, don't worry. They attack Axiom and Fraser.
Every Wednesday's Christmas Day for me.
They attack Axiom and Fraser after the match, chuck them out the ring, and they call them out, and here come the family. Tony D, Stax, and the Riz are there. And basically Baron says, bare knuckle fight next week. And Stax says, you got it.
It's absolutely like
Oh, sorry. Oh, just seen it. You seen there?
Yeah, it's the time.
No, it's the 7th of February. You know what that means? 2 months today, It's Always Sunny at What Culture goes down at Underground Arts in Philadelphia. It's the meat in the WrestleMania sandwich, of course. Goes down Sunday, lunchtime, the in-between night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Tickets are still available, whatculture.com/tickets. VIP has sold out, but general admission tickets are available. And because it's 2 months today, I just need to go and remind Underground Arts that we'd still like to keep our booking there because they always like to keep a check on that sort of thing.
Do that after the show.
It's literally because
it's
of
a
the time
bar.
difference that now is really kind of the only time that I can do this.
No, we're ahead. They'll be shut. It's a bar. They'll be definitely closed.
I'll tell you what, I'll just nip out and leave a quick message on the answer machine just because Phil's left this with me and I don't really want to let him down.
Why has Phil left it with you when he's like working today?
I think because he's working from home, he just said probably easier.
Yeah, but still work though.
Probably easier for him to make the call, if anything.
That's a good point. It's all great points, but I mean, I've got to do it. So, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter what you say. So, So, how do you think Tony D and Stax retain next week?
Well,
I'm not convinced they do.
they're not doing it, are they?
The Braun main roster stuff it's one of those things where often what you know about the behind the scenes like enhances the drama more than the story being told in the fiction of it all.
Definitely. There's not a starker contrast of wrestlers that shouldn't be where they are since Shane on Nitro and family. So nice of you to talk about yourself.
You reckon we're going to retain next week?
100% yes.
Yeah, there's not a doubt in my mind.
No.
Thanks so much. Hey,
Watch out for that spear.
Don't you worry, I will. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, guys.
That's next week, is it not?
I am aware, but I got some bad news to tell you. So I won't be here on the preview next week because big title match. Got to get ready for it. Really got to focus in. Wolf Dogs, Dusty Cup winners. We got to be good. Mm-hmm. And then on the Wednesday, probably partying after retaining the goddamn titles. I got to be honest. So
Where are you going to have your party?
probably go Underground Arts, Philadelphia.
All right,
That's a good
okay.
place. So, Sitch, what is the deal with Valentine's Day, huh?
Well, it originated as the feast of Saint Valentine, and then over time developed into a holiday. Not to be too much of like a person who is in sixth form and watches films.
Corporate America and the card stores.
Yeah, it's basically that. I mean, it is an excuse to sell greetings cards.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
The Hallmark holiday.
Yes.
is what it is. And my own personal theory, which has developed over time, is that the months of November, December, January, February, March are horrendously grim. Bleak, weather, storms, darkness. And I think that collectively over time, we people just decided to never notice how there's any Christmas in summer, so Valentine's Day in July. Like, I think there's just a series of the main major holidays are celebrated in the really cold months just as a way to not collectively kill ourselves.
Good
So
point.
that's the deal. That's my personal belief on what the deal with Valentine's Day is.
Well, hope she doesn't see this, but got the missus her present for Valentine's. She's getting a dildo cast of my own penis. Apparently, we're only doing small gifts this year. Huh? 3 questions, 3 jokes for you. Question joke number 1.
Yes, Dax.
If Valentine's...
Holly Valentine's Day.
Definitely not today.
No.
If Valentine's Day is for couples, what day is for single men?
Right, okay. He likes jacking. It's jacking,
does.
jacking. But maybe we can extend the scope of this pun to other masturbation references and holidays.
I was going to say, he's a wrestler, right? So he's watching tape. Greg Valentine's Day.
What was the setup again? Come on, let's get this right.
Sorry, wanking.
Valentine's Day is for couples. What day is for single men?
So, right, okay. Christmas Day. I think Nicholas knows, but we'll wait.
Is there anything in the wordplay of Valentine's Day?
Jack and
Times
Times
Day.
Day. Right.
Can it be that, Stacks?
Halloween. Oh,
Wanksgiving.
Wangsgiving. Well, maybe just in case it isn't. Wangsgiving.
Yeah.
Is there anything in, I don't know,
Singles. Alone.
like, I don't know, like Mother's Day. I was thinking of holidays.
Expand on that,
Mother's Day, Father's Day,
Easter.
it's a holiday, Halloween. Should we just go with Wangsgiving?
Yeah. Wanksgiving.
Oh, it's so good. Not actually, might be better than the goddamn punchline. Not right though. If Valentine's Day is for couples, what day is for single men? Palm Sunday, huh?
That's good.
That reminds me, I just got a text from Mrs. Actually, a little pre-Valentine's Day poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm using my hand and thinking of you. Jolly good. Jolly good. Hamlet.
Jolly good.
He knows when he has the
I
most.
picked that up from you, Brit.
Yeah. Mr. Bean looking assholes.
Look, what kind of flowers do you never give on Valentine's Day?
It's just not funny. Cauliflowers. Because it's just a vegetable.
Oh my god! Oh my
He's-
god!
Stacks, is it cauliflowers?
One for the kids. What kind of flowers do you never give on Valentine's Day? Cauliflower. Bingo! Oh, no, just some jokes. Share this with your family. Just gather the kids around. Tell them these jokes.
Stacks,
I might tell my kids the next one.
I know you watch Blueies, But you want to see Bluey. Kids don't want to be patronised with garbage like that. There's good stuff for kids.
Goddamn one of these son of a bitch.
Flowers.
Sidge, final question, final joke for you. And a little bit of advice potentially for any musicians out there. What is the best gift for your Valentine, huh?
Something about musicians.
Oh, is there something in an instrument here? Stax goes down that road every now and then.
Sorry, what's the question?
What is the best gift for your Valentine?
A saxophone, so you got something to blow.
No, the saxophone, because it's got the word sex in it. The music thing can't be red herring, can it? What's...
So saxophone, you blow it.
Yeah. Blow a lot of instruments, though.
Yeah, trumpet.
Trombone has the word bone in it.
Yeah, this is true. That is true. I can't get it.
No. Don't know, Stax.
Musicians, what is the best gift for your Valentine? An upright organ. See you later, guys.
He's really enjoying his work at the moment, Stax, isn't he? You noticing that? There's a real spring in his step when he leaves the room. He's really walking a tightrope with his child-friendly stuff in the middle of gags like that as well, isn't he? Funny that he places it right in the centre. If they find the freaking porn stage, killing me. I mean, the door. Bye, Stax.
Bye, Star.
Oh,
You see him on the way out, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's not going to be here next week, unfortunately. Coincidence that I'm not going to be here next week either.
no. You going to Florida to watch him defend the titles?
I'm going to bloody try, let me tell you. But yeah,
So why are you off?
taking Eric to Alton Towers. Well, not Alton Towers, but
Get him on Oblivion.
yeah.
Oh,
And then going to see family in
see the family?
in Birmingham,
Oh, so you are going to Florida?
I thought they were wrestling in NXT.
and then Stag do. So
Where's the Stag?
God.
Bristol, I think.
Good.
My stag days are behind me now.
It's my friend who was a stand-up comedian when we were at uni, called James McFun. Real name.
That's a shoot name, so you got to give it a go if that's
Yeah.
yeah. Should
I've been called
see if we
George
get-
Baker.
set a video call with him and Stax. They can share their best
Yes.
One-liners.
I'll put them in contact.
Bristol activities or just pubs. Bristol's a great pub city.
I think we're going to a brewery. Ironically, I can't remember what else we're doing. I'm just so excited to see my friends, and it's really sad to go away from my family for a few days. But excited to see my uni mates again.
Yeah.
So, where were we up to on NXT? What
You're
have
the
I missed?
host.
I know, but I know you were talking about did you get
Family
any further?
ready.
Did you get any further? Did you get to Dragunov or
No, not yet.
Okay,
No.
cool. So Ilya Dragunov is coming to the ring for a promo. I suppose he'd probably describe as
Very entertaining.
he gets on the mic, calls out Trick Williams, says on Sunday we went to war.
2 seconds. I do have to check my phone. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I do.
He doesn't just respect Trick; he likes him. But that doesn't matter. He couldn't let Trick slay the Mad Dragon.
It was just some blue voicemail thing.
Okay.
Sorry, I was expecting a text. I'm sorry, I know I shouldn't be doing it, but
There's something funny about that. I don't know what it is. I'm expecting a call. I'm expecting a text.
I'm expecting an update that I need to know about.
He says Trick gave him everything.
I mean, Dave Meltzer's dog licks his face on podcasts.
Does he?
So I think I should be allowed to check an
Really?
important life admin update.
What's his dog called?
I don't know. I've just seen him lick his face.
We need to find that out.
It's true.
Yeah.
But watch it. I can see him.
Trick gave him everything. He would have been a worthy champion, but now it's his duty as NXT champion to call out one man, Carmelo Hayes. He says Melo had been attacking him with false allegations over the past few months.
Allegations.
There was never any manipulation from him. He could see his friend reaching new heights in NXT and did what he did, and now he has to come out and face the music. He knows the people are going to give it to Mello verbally, but he's going to break the traitorous son of a bitch. No Mello, though, and Ilya says, fine, I'll come back there and deal with you myself. But here comes Dijak instead. He says, you bloody obsessed you with Trick and Mello. There's major you suck chants going on right now. Dijak says, I saw what you did at Vengeance Day. You probably saw what I did to Joe Gacy. Both winners, so I love him.
Used your logic, Wilborn. And that's Dijak.
Yeah.
Dumbest segment I've ever seen in my frigging life.
Ilya says, not tonight. You're not the man I'm looking for. Dijak says, shut up, everybody. You used to call yourself unbreakable, or you like to call yourself unbreakable, and then you got a broken nose, so you're looking pretty breakable to me. Dijak said, I learned what it took to beat Gacy and break a man who's unbreakable. Everyone's chanting, shut up, T-Bar at this point. Ilya says, look, step away, I've got to deal with Mello. And when we meet again, you'll suffer like never before and learn why I am unbreak. And as he does that, Dijak nails him in the nose and they start fighting. They have to be broken up, and this sets up our main event of the evening.
You didn't...
Called it!
Well, yeah, when you do your fantastic rundowns...
See?
and I assume a lot of people listening to this might not have watched NXT, right? So you do fantastic recaps and rundowns and you explain it, and people would probably, in the mind's eye, theatre of the mind that you create, you said, and he knocks him in the face, and then the match is set up for later. They'll probably be picturing like a forearm, overhand right, something like that, maybe a dig to the ribs, whatever. Dijak, I don't tune into NXT to watch a man, the champion no less, indulging in his kink. And Dijak just punched Ilya Dragunov as hard as he could in the middle of his forehead to virtually no noise, to minimal impact, because like he's not really selling. He's going, oh, you because he's just been punched square in the center of his skull. This was the dumbest like they're doing these lines like, oh yeah, you're this, when in actuality, you're this. Shoot, punch to the head. Here's a concussion for breakfast.
There was a clip later on in the match where they were like, check out this kick from Dijak, and he looked like Ilya had sort of gone, I'm just going to, okay, the kick's come in, and then he'd gone, go on.
I mean, this is class.
Thank you.
So stupid. Do you know what was the discourse of the day on X yesterday?
I know.
It was Bret Hart. This is so funny if you're Dax Harwood, by the way. Or heartbreaking, as the case may be. Because Bret Hart, he has his things that he says. And you know what? God damn it. Any man has earned the right to say them. It is the hitman.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the usual thing of, back in my day, the marks were in the stands, not in the ring. His usual stuff of you should not shoot, hit, or hurt your opponent. You don't want to be lying in bed in the hotel room at night when, like, putting balm on your chest, when in Bret Hart's mind, you could be cheating on your wife. You know what I mean? He's probably thinking,
right,
you've got a golden opportunity here. You're on the road. You're young.
You want to be fresh.
You want to be fresh.
You're in the building.
And you don't want to be like nursing your wounds in bed.
You don't be creaming your own chest when you can cream someone else's.
You sure? Like, Stacks didn't give you some material when you passed in the corridor.
He just whispered something.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's like Cody Rock.
So,
Do a cum joke. Cody's like, what?
so that was the discourse, and people disagreeing and people agreeing and blah, 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 blah. And it's class because it was like, I don't know which account aggregated it, right? But it was like 5 paragraphs long. So it was like a blue tick.
Yeah.
So you got the extended character limit.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. It was like, Brett, last line is, that's Bill Goldberg style of wrestling. It's like second encore, he friggin' does it.
He was arguing, like, for hurting people. What was it? How did that work? I know everything's a culture war, but like,
I don't know. I just saw the bits of it, but I knew enough to read into it that it was the discourse of the day and all the rest of it. And it's generally he hates chops. Like obviously, it's all like subtext. I was better than Ric Flair, so deal with it, sort of thing. I love it. I hate chops. Then Dax Harwood chops in every single match. Then Bret Harwood puts over FTR. I think you might have seen one revival match in NXT. I'm genuinely convinced this is the case at this point. Anyway.
Dax was a bit bigger, and he was like, "You're kind of Jim, and the other guy's kind of."
Yeah, I like if he said, "I'd really like to see FTR fight those revival lads from NXT."
So what I'm getting at here is that who maybe in retaliation for this, you shouldn't hit each other for real. Shawn Michaels like, I'll show that bitter old loser. I've got my own TV show, and I've got just the guy who's willing to take a punch to the face. Just have a little dig at Brett. Oh, you don't like it? Well, you, man.
Can you imagine the moment in the locker room? He says, right, I want to do a bit at Brett's expense, but it's a bit of an awkward one, guys. I need somebody to take a punch for real. Like Dragunov just like rushing through. Get out of the way!
Yeah, but in school when they like raise your hand. And
Yeah, me. Does one of his shoot like torpedoes through all the trainees. Lands at Sean's lap.
Bursts through the wall like a Kool-Aid man.
Like a fish on the foot. Me.
You know, someone went through Shawn Michaels' wall when they were brawling the other week. That might have been Dijak and Joe Gacy, actually, but it's just Dragunov. Burst through. I'll do it. He's just on the phone. Yeah, no, I'm just about to go through to the locker room and see who wants to do it. Oh, yeah.
Be altogether harder to pick someone to do the actual strike, considering 90% of that roster misses them half the time.
Other than that, though.
Very entertaining. What an idiotic bit of television.
Just punched him in the head. Like later on, I don't jump ahead, who cares? Later on, the spot Dijak has to sell is a boxing glove on his stick. There is no way that hurts as much as you shoot knuckles into your forehead. Not a boxing glove on a stick.
I think I might have your answer, but I have to say that for later.
Okay. Was Dijak left as well? The NXT logo was corrupted, wasn't it?
Yes, I should mention that. Yeah, there was Joe Gacy's mask.
That's right, Joe Gacy.
It wasn't exactly it's Joe Gacy's mask.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe we'll hear some more from him a little bit later on. Thea and JC
Come to the studio.
are backstage.
Imagine that, just pops that up. Hi, guys. Hey. You're really good at this gimmick, Joe. Fair play to you.
Thea and JC are backstage. They're celebrating their calendar doing so well, of course. Sold out on WWE Shop in less than 30 minutes. Thea gets very giddy, starts babbling. Riley Osborne's got his match with Lexis King next. She's ready to go out there. She wants to get a good seat for it. And JC's like, hey, calm it down. Don't be too available. Play a bit hard to get.
Why? He wants her.
Yep.
Thea isn't sure, but Jason's like, when have I ever been wrong? And Thea says, literally never. And she goes off to do something else, agreeing to JC Jane's suggestion.
What a shame that Riley Osborne couldn't simply watch the television program and then say, all right, she likes me, she's just playing hard to get. Well, got a girlfriend if I want it, and she wants him, so why don't we just get together?
As you know, wrestlers will not allow for consenting relations ever.
Honestly, I know this is I know this television program is absolute dog shit, right? But you cannot do the thing they do in sitcoms, right? Because the key difference in sitcoms is that they do not know they are being filmed.
I love that breaking of that rule on NXT. It's such a crucial rule. You kind of break and they break it with every storyline. I love that.
Do not know in sitcoms that they are on screen being filmed, right? They don't. They think the world is the real world, right? So when there's some kind of miscommunication, right, you can buy it in the context of a sitcom or a drama because they can't watch themselves in it. So if there's like,
Ross is in the bar and then Phoebe walks in. I just saw Rachel's at home really missing you. Just go make friends.
Yeah.
There's like 7 years of conflict saved.
Yeah. And I understand they have to push it and everything's contrived in fiction to a degree, but this is whole nother level. You go and perform in front of fans. There's cameras staring in your face.
You might have a lot
that
of coursework
you
to do.
stare down in order to like threaten the people. You can't do this storyline. You're not allowed.
Counter offer. We've been made to look like fools by some fantastic LTST here because every single week we thought we were picking up on a key error of this whole story. But all along, JC was supposed to be doing right by Thea and Chase U, not corrupting her. for this moment, where Thea has reason to trust JC. She has been given no reason.
Why would you join Chase U? I'll predict that a hot English guy will turn up.
Yep. That's what happens in American colleges. Probably. Right there.
Of course, the counteroffer is, how does he watch NXT? Could have had all of his equipment taken away when they were seized. They didn't say they've got it all back. They've just sold the calendars, all that.
Everyone's got a smartphone. YouTube
He might have been university issued and they had to sell it or he sold it himself to try and help
Shut up,
JSU.
man. Shut up.
Logic.
And as well is the implication now.
Still fighting for this university.
Jumping ahead to the match.
Whoa,
Which we are going to skip.
And the key moment in the distraction.
Oh, God.
Is the implication that if you're at Chase U and you're not sat in the stands there going, hey, Chase U, then you absolutely will never watch the match. Because surely that goes against Andre Chase's teaching. Surely you're always watching tape.
I need to check one thing. It's genuinely for the purpose of this podcast. I was meant to do beforehand as research. Okay.
Genuinely. If they have the ability to watch tape right now, they still might not have any equipment yet. Only just pulled themselves out of that financial hole.
That's true, I guess. Like, you need to sell a few more calendars before you can buy one of those old TVs.
Well, the money's not necessarily all gone through just because they've sold out.
Just thought something.
Go on.
Cash injection still needed. Calendar's going well, but you're thinking about buying equipment, right? You just said they can't watch tape in the class because they haven't got a TV. They can't afford like a nice fancy flat.
Well, they had a classroom the other week, yeah.
Can't afford iPads, smartphones, anything like that.
Nah, it's fine.
Can they afford a weathered but not completely broken CRT? And if they can't afford one, can they borrow one from somebody that also might be able to provide funding in a Mr. R Truth?
I love it.
Chase Truth.
Right, okay.
Which then sounds like one of them sort of red-pilled NXT Bobby Fish conspiracy theories. So we'll move on from that.
Okay.
But like, yeah.
We'll move on to this.
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday.
I think this was my favourite part of the show. Von's there with his manager, whose name completely escapes me.
His name is Robert Stone.
He's comforting Von after he lost the Heritage Cup match, of course, last week.
Was this filmed last week? Was this filmed last week? Or?
I assume just during the week, probably shot this.
No, because there's only 2 hours in their lives.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Do it on like Wednesday.
Von says,
when he's probably at his most vulnerable.
Von says, all that training for nothing. And what's the name again?
Robert Stone.
Thank you. Says, don't worry, we'll get him back. I'm more pissed off at the way the metaphor spoke to my kids. And Von says, yes, when I saw that, I snapped. Not physically. I'm still... He says, but he puts over Stone's kids, and Stone's like, what's it you call them again? And he's like, the Bash Brothers. Sneak attack, there! Hey, the boys are in the pilot. You've been on that all the time, you little... And they're loving it, and they say their dad's the best. And Von says, yeah, that is why Oru's ass... Can't say that in front of the kids.
Uh-oh.
So he caught himself, to be fair, and he said... That is why Oro got tabled.
Didn't he drop the F word in front of them the other week for Patter?
Yeah, but that was a heat of the moment sort of thing, and hubris.
What?
Von says it's not finished with Noam Dar. And the Bash Brothers are like, yeah, why don't you fight him, Dad? Von's like, hell yeah. And Stone's like, look, I'm not a competitor. Von Wagner is. And the three of them, that is Von Wagner and the Bash Brothers chant. Tag team, tag team, tag team, tag team. So Stone relents and says, all right, we'll do it one time. And they'll, yeah, let's go. And the Bash, one of them reminds their dad, remember what we just taught you, sneak attack.
Oh my God.
Well, there goes the channel. Please, Mr. Baker, take pity on us. You've got all them women to meet up with. Leave our little YouTube channel alone.
Thank you, Mr. Baker.
You've got your other 4 Mambos before you get to the 5th one. You don't need to demonetize a YouTube channel.
You know, the chain of Italian restaurants locally near to me is called Mambo's. And the one in Hebden is Mambo's 2.
Oh my God.
I want them to expand, so I give them my business, just so there could be a Mambo's 5.
There is a burger van trade in the northeast, and I love spotting one in the car park, right? Because the OG was Planet Burgerland. And
What?
that's a place you want to visit, right? And
Planet Burgerland.
That's two. Burgerland and Planet Burger.
So like, I think it was like,
Maybe they merged.
I was going to say, yeah, it was a big corporate merger.
but like, you know, like when there's always those ones out like B&Q or whatever, like B&Q in Newcastle or something, Planet Burgerland 4. It's like, wow, that is a solar system I want to be a part of. Just a load of Planet Burgerlands. Each one tastier than the last.
Yeah, put ketchup on your burger.
No, God no.
So what do you do? Just cheese.
Burger, cheese, bread.
Eat.
So
A Von Wagner cheeseburger, that isn't it?
I'm assuming like a burger sauce is out of the question.
Yeah.
What about like a Big Mac? Do you have it plain?
I don't get a Big Mac because I would have it plain and I don't need that. I'll get like a double quarter pounder with cheese and then you get in.
And that's just it. You just shovel the off.
No, there's more of me than you think, Sige. And when they introduced the screens into the McDonald's world, there's just a button that says "Make it plain." So it was obviously a request for years.
I used to request it before I developed
Yeah, I get it,
taste.
I get
Yeah.
It's a pain in the arse.
Honestly, one of my favorite culinary memories was back in the Metro Centre when I was like 15. They used to do something called the Mega Mac.
Ooh.
And it was top bun,
yeah,
2 patties, middle bun,
yeah.
2 patties, bottom bun. And I used to get the Mega Mac plain, smothered in ketchup.
They brought that back in the pandemic, didn't they? It was like a double Big Mac or something.
Yeah. But it was the Mega Mac back in the day. Unbelievable. I would obviously get it with all the accoutrements nowadays, but back when I was...
They always make an advert of it now, don't they? Like you can have it. Like,
Yeah.
It's, I know Burger King said have it your way, so they got there first with it all. But like it's like people don't want ketchup or pickles or whatever, and you just the thing in it. You take the pickles out.
Take the pickles out, yeah. Disgusting.
I like a pickle.
Would you order them without now that
I'd
McDonald's
eat a
allow you
pickle
to?
by itself.
So do
I
you
don't
do
want it
that?
in
Do
the
you
burger.
buy the burger as is, take the pickles out and eat the pickles?
No.
Just
They've
get it
already
without.
been contaminated by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take the pickles out. Everything else is fine there.
Did you see Von Wagner's manager? What's his name again, Sige?
It's Robert Stone.
He was tweeted, I think it was a fan-made graphic of him, Wagner, and the Bash Brothers
What?
in the like the colour scheme of Noam Dar's lot called the
my
Better
God.
Four. So dream match.
Dream match. Have we just reviewed one match so far?
No, I feel like we talked about a few more.
I don't think we have.
Maybe not, actually. Yeah, it's just one match so far.
Oh, sorry this off.
Oh boy.
I think long term. Because we have seen... what the manager, what's his name again?
Robert Stone.
He has,
Sorry, this up.
he, has he has competed before, of course, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Remember in Black and Gold, vomited in the ring.
Sure did.
With
Robbie E was fun.
future
He
potential.
had a match against Bron Breakker, man.
Yes, it did as well.
And he was Robbie E.
It built up to Bron Breakker squashing Von's head with the stairs.
I forgot about that bit.
She battered his brain.
I just instantly flashed back to superstar of the main roster, Rhea Ripley, making him vom on NXT Black and Gold.
Yeah. Great times.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the tag titles at Stand and Deliver. Oh, yeah.
Von and
Von and Robert
Stone.
They're going to win. Oh, sorry. Stand and Deliver. Oh, yeah.
Robert Stone.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do.
maybe.
I'm a dream. Lexis King versus...
What the hell do I do, Rabbit? Do I stand or deliver? It is impossible to do both.
Lexis King versus Riley Osborne next. King got drop kicked to the floor. It's a big flip dive from Riley Osborne. But then afterwards, they're fighting on the apron, and he gets knocked off onto the announcer's table. Slingshot double stomp to the ribs got Lexis King a 2 count. But Riley came back with a leaping knee to the head. He got a 2 count off the back of that. Goes up top. He's looking for Thea Hale. Where is she? Where is she? Takes too long.
Thea, where are you? Where art thou?
He gets hit with a Lexis King super kick and a coronation off the top for the 1, 2, 3.
What a British geek. He is significantly better in the ring than Brian Pillman Jr., and I have no idea how that has happened. I did, when I was on my phone, I was doing research, because it would be embarrassing if he was just a from-scratch PC recruit, but he's not. He's done his indies and stuff like that at a young age. But still. Like, Brian Pillman Jr., Lexis King is, like... fittingly enough, quite a thoughtless wrestler. Just does stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Just does stuff. There's no link or rhyme or reason to what he does. He's pretty useless.
It's like he's been told to apply holds for heat, but doesn't get any heat and barely applies the hold. So it's like, right, most of this is wrong.
Yeah.
Brian. Sorry.
does
But I love
stuff.
it. I love it because he's in this world properly now.
Yeah.
It's not just a bit.
Art brute.
I don't know, like, I'm in love with Emily Kane is a better
No, I mean like the
piece of
actual
business than any
outside of
Lexington
art
match.
movement.
I couldn't comment on that.
Okay.
Just thinking of them on the enemy cover.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Argos having his 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Great 5 minutes, though.
Great 5 minutes.
Lexus King.
What was the comeback song actually a few years ago? That was good.
Can't remember.
Had a good.
Was it?
Yeah.
They did like a nostalgia tour with, I think it was the Subways, and I think it was shut down because of the pandemic. Yeah, Lexus King is now not just a hello ladies, he's specifically hello chase you ladies.
Yes.
Is it the backstage bit next?
With
Like JC, like the.
not yet.
I'm glad Lexus King is in the world, and we'll get to why.
We got a nice vignette for Kalani Jordan. She's faced adversity, gained confidence. She isn't afraid. She won't settle for less, and what's meant for her is hers. And then Izzy Dame and Kiana James were horrible to women in the locker room. Get out of the way. People are just happy to be here. They don't cut it. Brindley Reese walks in, cheerful as always, full of positivity. And Izzy tells Brindley to give Kiana her drink. And then she says she wasn't asking. She's like, fine, hands it over. And then Kiana takes the coffee and says, don't like coffee. Pours it in the trash and they walk off laughing, bullies.
Got her.
Got it.
Walks off laughing, boys. Someone.
That's a double whammy as well, because she doesn't get any
Scream.
coffee and there's going to be bin juice everywhere now.
I love, again, NXT just breaks some rules, reckless banning, doesn't give a toss. Love it about this show. Kiana James giving it the big, basically being the dead man, right? The women's locker room. You're like, you're so just happy to be here. You don't care about the business. Like, you literally don't care about the business because you've got an actual
You got
business.
an actual
That's
business.
all we know about you is that you came into wrestling as like a side hustle because you're super successful in business, and now all of a sudden you're the friggin' BSK, the two of you. Brilliant. They just don't give a shit. It's just like, say that thing this week.
Yeah,
Like, Shawn Michaels said in 50 million locker rooms, and he's like, you do that.
Yeah.
You do that.
Give me a coffee. I don't like it. So
That's happened.
But,
hasn't it?
imagine-
That's happened. Some
imagine
kid's
the
been bothered.
mentality of these people. Who have
Yeah.
to deal. God, it sounds so exhausting. That's just not even the bumps.
Mears, get me a coffee. No Jack in this coffee.
Carmelo Hayes came back out. He sits down on his chair and met with chants of, "You're not him." Got him.
More like you're not him. Poor.
He says the villain is always the villain when the hero is telling the story. No one wants to hear his side. He's not jealous of Trick's success. He allowed Trick to succeed. He wanted him to achieve the highest of highs. He wanted Trick to make his parents proud. And just when he got close enough, he had to take it away to remind Trick of his place and what happens when you cross Carmelo Hayes. When you bite the hands that feeds you.
So he didn't want him to succeed. I'm confused by Carmelo's promo here.
A little bit.
Well, he basically said Trick crossed him first.
It was going, Trick even having the temerity to go for the top belt.
Yes.
Was like
Should have stayed in his lane.
breaking a bond.
Yeah, but that's him not succeeding though.
Melo wanted him to succeed to a point. In Melo's mind, they had made a deal, and obviously they haven't. He's just being an asshole, and it was just like, you've broken the terms of the deal.
You're
by
North
down-
American champion at
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
I'm world champion.
He's like when he had the North American title either, though. He was jealous of that.
Yeah, he's just not a nice man.
No, yeah, true. I think
Not
that's the
a nice
story, but
man.
he's just not a nice fellow.
Trick started to believe the hype, believe they're on the same level. No way, he says.
He's not wrong there.
Trick went after something that belonged to him. In that moment, he knew he had to do what he had to do. The $1 million question, did he attack Trick Williams? You're damn right he did. And he'd do it again if he crossed him. Trick Williams' music hits. Whoop that Trick. Blasts through the speakers. Melo can't believe it. And then suddenly we realise, son of a bitch, he's got us.
I didn't realise anything, mate. I knew from the start.
I was looking, I was like, hey, here comes Trick. Oh my God. Oh, buddy,
Shut
got
up,
me
man.
again.
You're debasing yourself.
Two Shawn Michaels moments in 60 seconds. That's a record even for him. You're damn right it was the exact delivery by Triple H, and then he does the Bret Hogan tease. Like 2 in a minute. Like Shawn testing himself.
And,
I can do 2 in 30 seconds next week.
It's ridiculous because, right,
Throw somebody through a barbershop window while humping a Canadian flag.
And saying, I'm sorry, I love you.
it was, 72 hours? 48 hours?
Yeah, Sunday.
48 hours removed from the whole knee steel chair, right? You know for a fact he's not coming back that early. So you're 48 hours away from the injury and you're 2 months away from the match.
Yeah.
never in a million years was Trick going to do this. If you actually want to get heat, right, take it from Bully Ray. Surely you give it 3 weeks before you do this trick.
Yeah. Huh?
And then you do because that's vaguely realistic. Basically, Shawn Michaels has shot his wad. Yes, hasn't he? The timing here was pathetic.
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, hook, line, sinker. He says, Trick's in a hospital bed next to Booker T singing that stupid song.
That's nice. That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them doing it, can't you?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Really see a vignette of that.
Yes,
That's
I know.
NXT.
And we can get Dr. Fed on as well.
Yeah.
He says, I don't know why everyone's surprised. I've always been this way. Trick got so caught up in the headlines. Nothing happens on this brand, though, without getting past him. Trick started acting like me, but at the end, he's just a trick, he says. People are chanting, screw you, Melo, screw you. Melo says it was never a collaboration. Trick was always just his hype man. That's all it is. That's all it'll ever be.
I wish you hadn't done the music fake out because this is okay.
Yeah, it got a lot of heat, but I almost wish this had taken place in a proper building because I still think this would have done well and it would have looked bigger and
They wouldn't sell tickets.
no, a more impressive moment for him than like these fans that kind of just come in and do what they're told every week. Because you have to do segments like this. But I almost sort of felt a little bit reduced in status because you had the turn taking place on this PLE and then all of a sudden it was back to this little developmental for him to do his explain his actions thing. It was good though. Like Carmelo Hayes back as a heel, I think I'm already more interested in him. I like as well. So
Do you think they're just trying to get ahead of themselves because it's quite soon till beep beep roadblock? That they were like, well, let's get to Ilya because they're going to do that and presumably Trick's going to return there.
Yeah.
So they just like, right, we're going to do Ilya shoot punch in the head. And by the end of the night, we kind of have to have moved past the Trick stuff. You can't have him come back in a couple of weeks saying, by the way, I'm just going to go double back and explain I did attack Trick Williams.
Yeah, he's got Dragon off a roadblock. Bit of a Brucey bonus for the Fed heads. Like, he'll likely be sticking around on SmackDown, but as a heel,
Yeah.
where he's going to be better placed.
There's
all this Kevin Owens. Like, Kevin Owens was the one that spotted weeks and weeks ago. He's the bad apple here, and they'll probably revisit that.
I want Grayson Waller and Austin Theory to suddenly be his best friends.
Yeah.
Basically saying to Carmelo Hayes,
Hey, you all right?
doesn't really feel the same about
How you feeling about that?
Not
Yeah.
great. I felt weird. I didn't like it.
It's some of his worst part ever, let's face it.
He's going to take him the rock off the soundboard
That is a
until
real...
Cody finishes the story.
This is potentially your future now. It's like you've got Rock and Gewurz, maybe running the show at some point if certain narratives are to be believed. And like they came back swaggering about thinking we've got the best ever material for Dwayne. What is it? I know he's just like naturally kind of cocky and it's a bit like Jerry Seinfeld. When anything he says is funny, he's just going to go around saying people are all right and it's going to kill. And Adam Wilborn's like,
yeah, it's not wrong.
you're killed.
They call you Solo because you wank alone all the time. Hey, The Rock. Got him. Brilliant.
That's what's going to be.
Yeah.
We get another teaser of Kazuchika Okada. It was the man with three faces vignette. It's a Japanese problem. People, for some reason, just went automatically. So it's going to be Okada. Obafemi got
Triple H.
Obafemi got a nice vignette. And then Riley Osborne's walking backstage. He's upset about his loss. Thea and JC come up. How did it go? They're not watching the show either.
Why don't I watch the show?
Riley says, yeah, I didn't see you out there. Thea was like, oh, yeah, I had a lot to do. He says, we still on for Valentine's Day?
Oh my God.
She said, yes, excitedly.
Oh my God.
Riley leaves. Thea freaks out.
Oh my God.
JC suggests she needs to stop this and relax.
Oh my God.
She's going to give Thea advice next week.
Oh my God.
She's going to tell Thea Hale to let him wait a bit. Get there late. Like, you know, this, you're already kind of like, you need to play a bit more hard to get. So you're going to see Riley Osborne at the table, patiently waiting. And where's Thea? She's not here. But who else is having dinner at the table, just conveniently? JC Jane. Like, I'll come and sit with you, keep you company. and then Thea Hale's going to get there late, see them together, like, oh no. And she's about to leave, but who also has taken a table by himself on Valentine's Day? Lexis King. And it's not even a table with regular chairs, it's chairs that are thrones that move. And he's going to pull one up for her. And she's going to be like, well, I suppose I'll have dinner with you. And JC Jane's plan has worked, and Thea Hale's end up stuck with Lexis King having the saddest life.
I like the idea she doesn't even realise she just sits in a chair, like, if you just like to wait here, we'll find you a table. And that chair slowly starts moving towards Lexis King's table. He's also done the Dwight thing. He's bought up loads of Valentine's Day tables.
It's amazing. This is why we're here.
I guess.
This is why we come to work.
It is, isn't it? It's what a life. I mean, it's really good and it's bleak at the same time. But mainly, this is what I do. Son asked me what I was going to do today. That's what you do at work tomorrow. I was like, I stuck about Lexis King.
Romantic interludes with moving thrones.
Yep.
And Hangman Page versus Swerve. Which one's it going to be, son? Please pick the match.
Yeah.
Please pick the match.
Yeah.
They don't pick the match. They never pick the match.
Roxanne Perez versus...
Your family laughs at all of it. You think they're different. Your family thinks it's all the same
Yep.
And then they ask if The Undertaker's still around. You say, well, we do a bit on The Undertaker, and they don't care.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan's still in it.
Who's the champion now? They've already drifted off while you're answering.
yeah.
Oh, somebody called Roman Reigns. Oh, is he The Rock? Well, he's not, but there's actually a thing going on. They don't care. They do not care. Try and explain it in the CM Punk situation. They are just checked out.
Told you the worst thing that I hate the most is, I don't mind that. Casual, like, oh, I miss Stone Cold or whatever. It's when to get James Bond wrong. Oh, I loved WrestleMania X7 when it was Hogan and Stone Cold. What?
Oh, that's when he came back and beat all them WCW lads up with the Stone Cold suplex. One after another after another. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Love that. Every Friday night we watched, where you didn't even watch it once. You're getting it wrong.
You used to say, if you hear what The Rock is saying. What do you hate, Sid?
Most things. Genuinely most things. People in that not really one. I don't want to do another Metro rant.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
But like,
How's the bin situation like?
they've resolved it. They've resolved it at long last.
Good.
I was on the Metro platform yesterday. I'm thinking, I did the school run, so I usually miss the rush hour on the school run, so that's a bit more tolerable. You're not around people so much. And then I saw there's a few too many people on the platform, so I'm thinking, oh Christ, there's been some kind of cancelled train service. You know what? Thank you, all the rest of it. Thank you very much, and thank you. And then I just get that the stone sinks deep in my belly. When you see the train whizzing past, and it's just like this, you can see the people. Imagine that's like if you're on YouTube. Imagine this microphone and visualize it if you're listening to it wherever you get your podcasts from. This microphone is like the doors, right? These people are pressed up against it, and you're thinking, "Oh, for God's sake, those poor people." I'm going to be one of those soon. If I can even get on the train, if I can even get on the carriage. And it whizzes by, and in half a second you say, hang the on here. There's loads of space in the area between the four seats and the bits where you get on with the doors. Move up!
Oh, they don't walk down.
Move!
Yeah, that's
And the worst thing is, it's like Lord of the Flies. They don't want to be the one, because they're selfish and self-involved and entitled. And they've got no respect or empathy for the fellow man. They don't want to be the person, right? There's so much space. All you have to do, and I'll do it all the goddamn time because I'm nice. I'll walk up. It's loads of space, got some leg room actually. They don't want to be the person who breaks away from the pack because the door is the ultimate prize. You get to leave.
That'll blast the fresh air when it opens.
Yeah.
All theirs.
Well, it's not just that. It's they get off without having to, wade through the massive bodies. But if I go up and say, I don't want to do this, I'd rather have space by the door as well. But guess what? Someone's going to move. Otherwise, this doesn't work. There's got to be civilization. There's got to be order. So I'll go up to the bed, and I'll just stand there. And then guess what happens when I want to get off? I'll just try and politely say, can you move past, please? I'm trying to get off. And then I'd have to dry hump some troglodyte every single day to just get off the metro. You can alight and get back on. Alight and get back on. Like when I can, do people just not think or
like
feel anything?
You're like an NXT character where the Metro's passing the performance center and they're just trying to get off. God.
It's
Next
hell.
The train goes back on.
It
again.
is hell.
Conductor,
And hell,
yeah.
in fact, is other people. Because, like, if I'm in that cluster or whatever, and, like, even if it's not that, like, pressed together, it's like there's one body that we all share on these public transport systems. I can see people out the corner of my eye, right? Because I have some awareness. Like, they want to get off at your stop. There's, like, a big huddle of bodies at the door. So I'll go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 4 seconds of my life. I'll get off. I'll open the door, create some space for you to leave. So you're not dry humping people on the way out. And I'll just simply get back on. It takes 4 seconds. Why can't anybody else do these things? I'm a saint. Let's carry on.
It was Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice next.
It was a Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice match.
Yeah.
Chased her to the floor, hit a dive. Vice took over when they went back inside. She hits that hip attack of hers. Vice kicks her out to the floor to take us to a break. We come back. Perez kicks her down. Double springboard moonsault gets a 2. Vice comes back with a choke, though, and counters Pop Rocks. Vice elbows her in the face, gets a 2 count. Looks like she might have the match won. She's setting up for the big kick. And then Tatum Paxley slides in with the breakout contract that Lola Vice used to unsuccessfully cash in at Vengeance Day. Vice goes, get out of here, kicks her down, turns around, Pop Rocks, 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, a few set out flip outs and then like really inexplicable finish. Like if this was like R-Truth, it's like, yeah, that's what he does. He makes these mistakes. Like Tatum Paxley's a stalker, not a thick idiot.
Was she trying to join the match, do you think? Or did you? I couldn't work out what was going on.
I don't know. How's she got the contract?
She was just trying to
Just
It's just
anything
a
is
distraction.
Yeah,
It's just
like,
a distraction. Tell you what, this was like pretty bad. It was pretty short. Was it? I don't know. I can't remember. But Roxanne Perez attempted Pop Rocks like mere inches away from the ropes. Now, where do you think you're going to end up if you pull this one off? It's
Like the Kurt Angle German suplex that you like where he's trying to pull somebody off the apron. She's like, I'm gonna kill them. I'm gonna pop rocks them and go through the table in the crowd.
But like she would have just landed in the crap. This show's crap.
Well, then Kelly
Didn't say disagree, so yes, you agree.
No, I do disagree.
Okay.
Kelly's there with Jakara and Lash talking about their match with Ren and Fallon. And Lash says no one's worried about Ren. Jakara says we're going to end her career before it even starts, basically. They ask Noam Dar about Von and what's this manager called again?
Robert Stone.
Challenge, and Noam says with a dream team we'll put things to an end. And then in comes the no quarter catch crew. They say they're not happy about them accepting this challenge instead of giving a match to someone who deserves a shot. And Lash says,
You should be stopped.
shut up.
Yeah, he wrote it down. He put it on his notes.
Nudes. Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that?
Not a thing.
No quarter catch crew.
Just they're awful act. Just an awful act.
So we got Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend versus Fallon Henley and Ren Sinclair.
Hey, Fallon Henley's quite good.
Yeah, she got a hot tag, ran wild, clean house. She's trying to get Jakara Jackson, but Legend's trying to pull her out of the ring. There's a tug of war. Jackson's caught between the two of them. But then in amongst this, Henley gets sent throat first into the middle rope. That allows Jackson to take over. Sinclair's like, well, I need to help my partner. Blind tag. She gets cut off by Lash Legend. Huge powerbomb, 1, 2, 3, and Fallon afterwards is like, it's not your fault. She's just really wound up by this team.
Fallon Henley is working and acting like somebody that knows her time is coming. Like she's got the experience, the tenure in NXT. They're going to strap her up, I think.
I think
so.
I think so, you're
I don't think she gets the call up. I think she's going to be seen as like some heel champion is going to be telling her, probably not Lyra Valkyria, there's another title change versus you. You've been here all this time and you've not won the title and all this kind of thing. It's going to be a really Like fairy tale underdog type story. And
Barroom brawl.
And that, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you've got to get back to like her and Kiana James have kind of got like a Hangman Page Swerve Strickland situation, haven't they? It's never over.
No.
It's never over between them. Like, so legacy rivals. Corporate world, it's a working class bar girl.
5 minutes left.
She looked up at the top shelf and she thought at the top shelf alcohol. And she thought, I'm top shelf.
Yep.
Never forget that. But whilst she lost the match, but whilst things are generally looking up for Fallon Henley.
Not really. She's good in the ring.
Getting like a bit in the stomach here.
So Josh Briggs is there chatting to someone saying, oh, bloody great, it was Vengeance Day, eh? But I've got my eyes on Dragon Lee.
I thought they all love the show. None of them watch.
That's why they like it. Maybe they watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Sounds great, that. Am I in that? Lexus King rolls in his chair. Listen to the pod, yeah.
Brooks Jensen walks in.
Yeah, that was a good splash in the pool. But speaking of making a splash, Lexus King has really made a splash in NXT. They all, before these TV specials, talk about NXT.
Yeah.
And yet, as we've revealed constantly on this podcast, none of them actually watch the show.
Halloween Havoc.
I've blown this wide open.
Halloween Havoc's there. Shotty's like, welcome to the ball pit. And Lex is like, balls? You know, getting some of them shaved into my beard. So.
Anyway, Brooks Jensen walks in and
Heartbreaking.
Briggs is like, all right, mate. And he goes, yep, never been better. They talk about Fallon's match. And Briggs is like, hey, look, she's doing well.
Not really, she just lost.
Yeah. And he's like, anyway, see you later, Brooks. And he goes to leave, and Brooks, he can't hold it in anymore. He says, I'm lost without you, all right? I'm struggling. I need you. Briggs.
I need you, Lou.
Briggs, and I thought, oh, thank God, here we are. Puts his arm around him, smiles. His face turns rather sinister. He says, you think being sad is going to help you? You're not a kid anymore. The world doesn't revolve around you. He pushes him into the lockers. Stop living in the past. There's a whole performance center of athletes there ready to take your spot. You can do two things, sit and cry about it or grow some damn balls.
Greg Wallace talking to his son. The way this just flipped. All right, Josh. Speaking of the day, man. Like, this was just
learning from JBL.
Isn't it like, let me take you aside and teach you how to be a massive like that.
Come with me to the shower, boy.
Class completed. That's what you did. You see, you open those and you close out, and now look, you're treating your friends like assholes. You're going to have nobody but a pile of money to sit on. That's what you're doing.
Bob Holly.
It's called show business, not show friends. And I made my money in stocks and shares. I couldn't draw as a champion, but knew what stocks to gamble on. Sold some books full of Turn on your friends, sell a book full of That's how you make money in this business, kid.
That's the way.
It's just so brutal.
Yes.
Like, it's been a bit hard. Like, it's been a month, and like, it's great to see what you're doing and Fallon. That it's just
Shut your f***ing mouth, asshole!
Off me, you mark. Wow.
Shut your f***ing pie hole, you stupid. That's essentially what he said.
All right. So we're not getting back together then. Probably not.
I'll take that as a no.
What the hell does Fallon think?
Yeah. Well, she doesn't want this. She watched the show, so it's fine.
This restaurant next week has got our various other characters dotted around. Like Brooke should be there, shouldn't he? Yet another Valentine's Day where he's going over with his dick in his hand. Like Josh Briggs turns up with like 4 lasses on his hand. Get the off my table. 2 are for me and 2 are for GB.
So, Ava, she hasn't got the surname, she's Rock's daughter, and she's the NXT general manager, is there with Jada Parker, who wants a one-on-one match with The Riz. This was where I really started panicking. I was like, what do you mean The Riz isn't going to be out there for the Wolf Dogs tag match?
Oh, no.
That's my big concern. But Ava says OTM can't be at ringside. Jada's like, that's fine. She leaves. In comes Rich Bloody Holland saying, Gallus tried to break my leg. I'll take them all because I'm hardcore. But Ava says she won't book a 3-on-1 match, but he gets to fight each one of them individually. But if he loses to any of them, it's over.
Love that. Like, I don't believe for a second you'll be able to find a friend.
Yeah, no.
So you can fight
I
them all.
thought that's where they were going.
And if you suck, I'm punishing you for it. The Rock's daughter. Stuff gets done, yeah?
And if you come anywhere close to finishing the story, I'll just take over. Main event time. Ilya Dragunov
Got
versus
53 seconds left on Big Timer.
Big Timer's an NXT character we haven't introduced to you yet, by the way. He's clock-shaped.
So, it was a bit stiff, this match.
Is it a slight disadvantage
so-
because he's got a big hand and a little hand?
This was so stupid and funny and trivialized itself before it even finished. I loved it.
Joe Case is a plumber now.
I love Joe Gacy so much. So, Dijak targets the nose. He sends him nose first into the turnbuckle.
This match kind of kicked ass in a way.
Batter each other, don't they? So
He knocks battering Dragunov fighting back. Obviously, he's a bit bloodied as well, which is good. They're fighting on the outside. He throws Dragunov back in, but he gets this weird sense.
You saw the leg, mate.
He had a quick glance under the ring, but no one there. So carry on. Go to a break, come back. Dijak gets pulled into a Death Valley driver in the corner. Dragunov got a 2 off a top rope backsplash, running boot in the corner to Dijak. But Dijak comes back with a nice high justice out of nowhere. And it looks like Dragunov's going to hit the Constantine special, and then Dijak just takes his head off with a lariat. He hits his springboard elbow drop, but he's got the hurty elbow, of course.
How to trivialize it more than the wrestlers did.
So Ilya capitalizes with a big shot to the head. Dijak is wobbled. He's wobbled. And he crawls to the ring apron, and he's sort of like, you didn't see this, he's sort of hanging over. He's hanging over the ring apron like that. And Joe Gacy, I'd say Dexter Loomis-esque in terms of how he slid out from under the ring. Yeah. Except far more threatening because he's got a boxing glove on a stick.
And because it can work.
And he smashes Dijak in the face with it. He turns around, H-bomb from Ilya Dragunov, 1, 2, 3.
The business is back.
I was like, there it is.
There it is.
There's my show.
It's the stupidest.
It's actually not. It's very clever because what you don't know what was in that boxing glove.
Shut up, man.
Could have been loaded. So you think you're all like, oh, the boxing glove, it's a pathetic little boxing glove. Nah, why was it on the stick? You got to ask those sorts of questions.
Don't have to do anything for a start, so jot that down. I love the idea they do this absolutely stupid, wacky finish. And thinking, right, okay, usually a good worker, right, a good wrestler, a Bret the Hitman Hart would probably realize, right, you know, if you're doing some kind of like punishment match, right, where it's like the object is I got to kiss my foot, or like a crybaby or something like that, right? So it's a punishment match. It basically exists as a backdrop to a visual gag at the finish. You probably don't wrestle it like you're in the G1, okay? That's probably a stupid idea. Why don't you reserve G1 style physicality for a match that isn't totally dumb? These idiots, Donovan Dickhead, Dijak, he's a moron, and Ilya Dragunov doesn't understand that it's fake. And I love this, by the way. I thought it was so hard-hitting and gripping in a weird, stupid way. If there's a time, have a night off. The finish is Joe Gacy's got a boxing glove on his stick and he's going to hit you with it, right? Have a night off, right? Maybe don't kick each other in the face. Maybe don't set up this match by punching each other right in the face.
Punch in the face, set this up. And a boxing glove and a stick finished it.
If you haven't seen it, they do this bit, and I want every wrestling match to have this. Screw my arguments about homogenized action. They do these kind of chops, right? But they're doing their chops, but they're strangling each other at the same time.
They're like chopping the backs of their legs and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, they go, just like strangling.
I mean, his Dijak wasn't getting knocked over by Ilya's erection. It was so painful looking.
It's like that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Push my arms up and through my neck.
I would say
complete pair of genuine jabrones who do not know how to work. But what a great match. What a great TV main event.
You know, like, I wish some of the NXT black and gold matches that they had like this ended with a boxing glove on a stick.
We were crying out for boxing gloves on sticks back in the CWC.
Yeah.
Like, never in a million years would Triple H have booked this as a finish. Not ever. I couldn't believe, like, you're right. The tonal shift, I've never seen anything like it. It'd be like if BCC John Moxley, like, did his entrance and just, like, brought back the red wagon.
Yeah.
Wow, thing. Come on, you.
And in the arena, they do like the next day they do an explosion spot. They'll set up some tables and ladders and do a big thing off the set and all the rest of it. Custard pie to the face.
One, two, three.
There you go.
Anyway, post-match, Mello comes in, chop
Blackpool
blocks
Cream Pie
Ilya,
Club.
beats him up, grabs the NXT championship and nails him in the face with it, and he stands over him whilst people are chanting about Trick coming for Mello as the show goes off the air.
He wants to be worried about Trick coming at him with a boxing glove on a stick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Stick Mello.
Do you reckon that? Or,
He honestly is the worst, isn't he? Sometimes you think Wilborn's the worst, but I think Hamlet is actually the worst.
Rhymes, isn't it? Rhyming stuff's funny.
I just really like the... I'm excited for Mello.
You veg dinner and piss off.
I'm excited for Mello and Ilya, but I do like the idea of... Oh, you know
No
what?
flips, just crisps.
You know our fictional company that was like, well, we've got all this beautiful fresh fruit. What have they had before as well? They got all these things in it.
Green goo.
Fresh tomatoes.
Like perfectly.
It's like musical instruments as well.
Yeah.
It's,
Tomatoes were the tastiest looking tomatoes I've ever
oh my
seen.
God, they looked unbelievable. Look at cartoon tomatoes.
They were just bouncing off his body.
Meant to be like, rotten fruit. No, I hate fresh tomatoes. And they looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
Off his chest like a ping pong bob.
And they're like, his wife comes home. She's like, I've really messed up this time, love. You know, all of our assets that we made from selling fresh fruit and vegetables to be used as rotten fruit to be thrown at superstars or
There's no lives left.
musicians or goo or whatever.
It's on the 10th life now.
Yeah. I was on the way to the bank and I met a guy who was selling boxing gloves on sticks. And I thought, well, there's a gap in the market. I bought everything and I'm sat here looking at him and I'm thinking, who the hell's going to... Hello, good sir.
And Joe Casey would do that.
Yes.
That was to find boxing gloveth on a sticketh. I'll take 100.
Why does
See if
no one
WWE
know?
shop when I go to buy the calendar also sells boxing gloves on
We've got a
sticks.
job lot to get rid of.
Why does no one know? That's stupid. Don't do it.
This is why. It's the best wrestling show of the week. Let us know your thoughts
Disagree.
on X at What Culture WWE or in the comments section below. Watch there. You can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at.
Michael Hamflet.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at.
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. As I said, follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. The AEW Dynamite preview is available right now. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflet, Sidgwick, thanks to Stacks. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.